Okay, this is a reading for Gemini. It's the Native American medicine wheel. Okay, so it's designed to look at how you're doing. Okay, it's a 4-card spread. A card at the top for your mind, a card at the bottom for your emotions, a card to the right for your spirituality, wisdom and intuition, your connection to spirit, and then a 4th card for your physical appearance, your body, your health, okay? So, let's see how you're doing. Now, we read the cards from top to bottom and we decide which one of the 2 cards is the most positive, and the card that's the least positive is an area to work on, okay? The same with left to right and right to left, which card is the most positive. Okay, that means that area of your life's going well, and we perhaps need to focus on the other side. So, it's a really popular spread. I'd never see anyone else doing it, but a lot of people like it, okay? I think, honestly, it's not to do with love, and it's like a relief, do you know what I mean? Too much focus goes on like what another person thinks about us or what another person feels about us. But the Native American medicine wheel is focus on yourself, okay? Everything within you and what's going on with you. I've had a tough day today, so I've had a lovely dinner. I'm going to have a nice bath, but I want to do some tarot before that. Had a really nice meatball pasta, yum. I definitely need to relax and unwind. I've had a lot of teenagers goading me. And then a mix up, and yeah, I was late for my first lesson by a lot, but it wasn't my fault. It was like things just haven't been explained to me that needed to be explained to me, so it's a clash of timetabling, and yeah, there shouldn't be a problem with that the rest of the week, but okay. Okay, so for my Gemini collective, spirit guides, universe and angels, please stand beside me and guide me for Gemini, okay? Please give me 4 cards, the first one being mind. How is Gemini's mind at the moment? The Queen of Pentacles reversed, so you might feel a bit in lack in terms of money, being able to provide for the family. Queen of Pentacles is someone who's solid, reliable, a provider, likes to make money, likes to spend money, but has plenty to spend on her loved ones, okay? So your love language might be buying things for people. And you might be thinking, damn, I wish I had more that I could spend, or I'm spending and I'm not earning to really afford this, okay? So you might have that on your mind at the moment. What about emotions? Knight of Swords, Temperance, King of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, Queen of Swords reversed. We've got a lot of swords. and the world. So I think, look, we've got a divine, that's weird, we've got a divine counterpart. We've got the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords is reversed. I think you're really trying to manage your emotions. You feel like you've got a lot to say to your spouse, because we've got a King of Swords and a Queen of Swords. You want growth, you're working incredibly hard to build a future with this person, but they can be quite harsh, they can be cold, they can have a harsh tongue, okay? Swords are communication, they're facts, they're revelations, the truth. But when a sword card is reversed, that sword is being wielded in a harsh way. So they can really sting with the things that they say, or they can sometimes sulk and stop communication altogether. It's an exaggerated version of the card when it's upright. Okay, this is someone who speaks their truth. They sit in their power, clarity, honesty, the truth, facts, logic. But when it's reversed, it's an extreme, accentuated version of the Queen of Swords. So it's someone who's being careless with that, you know, whatever they're saying or writing. It's careless with people's emotions, people's feelings. So you might feel like, I mean, the World card is when it's a major arcana. So is the Temperance, that's Sagittarius energy. We've got Aquarian energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius with all the swords. We've got some Pentacles, Earth energy. The World card is when the Fool realises that we must take life's rough with the smooth, okay? So you understand that sometimes this person you're married to is like that, and you're still accepting it, okay? Because maybe they have lots of good qualities as well. But it does, like, test your emotions, test you, okay, when they do this. I can't remember what that is. The Queen of Pentacles. Okay, give me one for spirituality, intuition, wisdom. For Gemini, please. How is Gemini doing in terms of the spirituality, the intuition and their wisdom? So religion, faith, destiny, hope, trust, faith. Going with your gut instincts, trusting yourself to make the right decision. Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is strategy, okay? It's about moving strategically in order to get what you want. You can't be bluntly open about stuff. You have to make certain moves to get where you want to be. You have to calculate maybe the long-winded version of a journey to manoeuvre around certain obstacles, okay? So you might feel then that things aren't set in stone, or it depends on you, you know, which would speak to having less faith, less trust that things are how they're supposed to be, because you feel like you're having to manoeuvre around stuff that's coming up, that it's all on you, basically, to control what happens. And I don't think that's true. So that looks like an area to work on. Be careful of your emotions. Maybe express how this person's making you feel. Don't feel like you have to put up with that, because that's going to be doing damage if that's all the time. Queen of Pentacles reversed for mind might be worries about spending, okay? Right, for your body, you've got the Page of Swords reversed. Now, the Page of Swords upright is someone who's gathering information. They're doing their research. They are trying not to be seen, okay? It's spying, it's observation, but with a sense of like, I don't want to get caught looking at this. It's like going through someone's diary, reading their text messages, you know, studying them from afar, like tracking them, following them, trying to get to know the person without actually asking what are the things you like, what, you know, you're trying to get to, you know, get to a point where you know them and you haven't really interacted with them yet. That was reversed actually, wasn't it? So that's your body. It's like when you don't know enough about something and it makes you anxious, makes you nervous. You want to do research, you want to know more. You feel like maybe things are hidden from you. Like there's more to something than meets the eye. So you might be manifesting that as a bit of tension, a bit of stress. And sometimes we don't realise that we're stressed. We kind of think, well, now I feel like I always feel. But you can be manifesting that and it can start to show itself in parts of your body. And you think, God, that crept up on me that I didn't realise. Or sometimes you'll only notice when you go for something like a massage or yoga or aromatherapy or Reiki or a swim in a sauna and steam room or hot tub. You'll only kind of notice that you're actually really tense, a sound bath or something. And when you start to do a practice like that and you think, God, I was actually manifesting and harbouring a lot of tension and I just kind of told myself that I wasn't, or it kind of crept up on me so subtly that I didn't realise actually I'm very tense. So actively, I would always say actively try to address that. Even if you think you're not stressed, actively go and plan and book in things to de-stress, and then you'll see. You know, you often only see when you're doing activities like that, where you're forced to deep breathe and slow breathe, when you're forced to clear your mind, when you're forced to engage the muscles in your body and slow down your breathing and consciously like try to unwind, then you realise, oh, I think I've been quite uptight actually, you know. I think you are trying to manage certain things at the moment and it's making you have some things on your mind. You might be thinking it's all on you and losing faith, so watch that. I would be honest, I think you're coping well with your spouse, but I would actually tell them when they're out of order, because maybe they've got poor judgment on that. Someone can have such amazing qualities and you can really love them, but I don't think what they do to you, I don't think you're doing that to them. So that doesn't seem right, does it? You know, and unless you say something and say that actually really bothers me, are they going to stop, or do they just think it's banter? I mean, Queen of Pentacles, it depends what your background is. If you're growing up without stuff, then maybe you become obsessed with having stuff and buying things, and you buy too much. Or if you grew up without money, you might be really tight with money, and you might be really steadfast and frugal, and you might put a brick in your toilet so that when you flush it, it doesn't have as much water passing through it. I've never heard of stuff like that other than my ex saying that's what his dad was making them do, and now I just find that really bizarre. But some people can be an absolute penny pincher. They're like obsessed with saving every single penny to the point where it's embarrassing, it's painful. You're doing things that aren't normal. Like, he took me on a date to a working man's club because they had the cheapest pint, and it's like, wow, you are the dregs. Like, you're meant to be like impressing me, you're meant to be like making me feel special, or like I did the right thing giving my time to this. Like, you're taking me to a working man's club because they have the cheapest drinks. Like, really? That's my first impression of you? Like, you haven't really got high hopes for yourself if that's how you're presenting yourself to someone who's new that you think is worthy of going out with. Why on earth would you like play them down like that? Because you're sending the message that you don't think they're anything special, or you want them to put up with the minimum. That's a red flag. That's a major red flag. And he was an arse. He wasn't a nice person at all. I never agreed to go to the working man's club. He like sprung that on me. It's just cringe. It's just like, when I think back, I just think I'm embarrassed for you. Like, I don't even pity you. I just think you're a knob. Do you know what I mean? It's like, wow. You've built a reputation for yourself like that, like everywhere you go as well. Like, it wasn't just me that he was like that with. It's like, wow. Really? Romance is dead. I don't think romance existed for some people, you know? Yeah, Gemini, maybe you're being overly suspicious and that's why you're being strategic. I think you need to have a bit more faith in the universe, in the divine plan. And you don't need to like completely control your fate, and you don't need to constantly like worry that there's stuff you don't know about. I would advocate for yourself a little bit more when it comes to the spouse, but it is true love and unconditional love to accept someone for their flaws. So I think you're a very emotional person, and Geminis are very emotional. You're the most emotional of all of the signs. You're very emotional, okay? You're the twins, so you're emotional and you're logical. And you might feel like caught between logic and emotion at times. I think logically you know this is not a bad person, but they do let themselves down sometimes by hurting you. And I just think you're good enough to rationalise it and know that they give you more than what they take away. But I would still say something. I would still put them in their place, okay? Maybe you have to beat them at their own game and say the same kind of thing back, and then they go, whoa, that's below the belt, and you're like, well, that's what you do to me every single day. And no, I don't like it. It makes me really upset. I mean, worrying about money, as I've just said, is perception. If you know finances aren't good, and logically you know there's not going to be finances coming in, then maybe change what you're doing. However, it may be that you've been brought up to feel like, you know, you've got a scarcity mindset and you don't believe that the universe is abundant and more money will come. Therefore, you're constantly always trying to like reduce spending. So just, I don't know, you know your own background, you know your own childhood and how things were. Maybe just consciously have a think about you know, what could be influencing certain opinions or decision making. I think sometimes we're very tight with heating, putting the heating on, what temperature we'll put it up to, for how long we'll have it on. You know, we're more kind of steadfast and eke things out sometimes. Depends what generation you are, but then you get older and you think, well, I need to be warm. And my body isn't working the way that it was, and I need to be warm, so I'll put the heating up higher and I'll have it on for longer. Your values that you were very staunch about, they soften, you know. And with some people, you know, you're younger, so you want the heating on and you put it on because you're just not prepared to live a lifestyle where you're going to be cold 99% of the time. Maybe your parents were hell-bent on having the heating off, thought it was a luxury, and so you're just like, I'm having it on because I get control of my life now, and that is one of my priorities because I was cold too much when I was growing up. It just depends what your upbringing was like, but maybe that will help you understand why you've got this mindset of scarcity, because, most of us are able to go to work. If we're not, then we only have a tiny income from welfare and benefits, but most of us are able to, try harder, work more hours, get extra shifts, moonlight, do our day-to-day hours, but then work extra in the evening or weekends, or create a business where we've got a second income. It's not that we can't have more money, it's that we're not allowing ourselves to create more opportunity for ourselves, more income for ourselves, because we've got the idea that it's not possible, but maybe it is. The universe is abundant, it's infinite. Everything's interconnected, sacred geometry is patterns that have no beginning and no end. That's money. Money is just energy, like love, that is just energy. So, energy can't be created and it can't be destroyed. It just is. It's flowing around constantly. So you have to think of money like that. Money's everywhere. It's moving, it's transient, it's flowing like water around the world. It's flowing. Think of different currents that flow out of different oceans, seas, around different coastlines. They weave in and out of different areas. Everything's connected, so as money gets spent, there'll be a vacuum created and more money will come in. It's just, you have to obviously make moves in the 3D to ensure that happens. But as sure as you're spending, you will be able to earn. I don't know why we're confident doing one and not confident that we can do the other, because we've got everything that it takes to make money, but we seem to have this like fear mindset that we can't make more. But millionaires lose money overnight. A lot more money than you'll ever have, they lose overnight. They will borrow money in order to make money. So if they had a scarcity mindset, they'd never borrow money, to an outrageous amount in order to start that business with the best start that it needs to then break even, to then start making money. If they kind of never allowed themselves to borrow or get loans or have debt, they wouldn't be a millionaire today. And if they thought that if they lost it all overnight, they'd never get it back, they'd never become a millionaire a second time or a third time or a fourth time or a fifth time. Money comes and goes. If you look at CEOs and millionaires and billionaires, they will be the first ones to tell you, if you say, have you ever been broke? They'll laugh and say, yeah, of course I have. Many times. Because money comes and it goes. It can't be this constant, like same amount of money all the time with no change. It comes and goes, guys. Like, everything in the world changes. Everything in the world is ups and downs. Happiness, money, love, health. So if you're expecting money to just be the same all the time, yes, that's comforting, but it isn't realistic. So, get realistic and be like, okay, spending a bit, not earning as much, but I have ways that I can get more income, release more money, or spend a bit less for a few months, but this is important that I do this. You must have thought this was important in order to do it, because you're a Queen of Pentacles. You are not a Page of Pentacles. You are not a Knight of Pentacles. You're a Queen of Pentacles. So you are a good provider. Normally, you are the most reliable out of all the court cards. You're the most reliable for providing money, for earning money and spending money on the people that you love. So, if you have less income these days and that's on your mind, that's a shame. But nowadays we can make channels, we can make money in ways that weren't simply weren't an option, okay, before 2020 or whatever. It just wasn't an option. You worked in a regular job until 65 if you're a man, or maybe 70 if you're a woman, but then you just didn't work like at all and you just had to live off like basic money, like whatever your pension paid out. Now people can make a channel and they choose when they want to start working. They could work till the day they die if they wanted to, you know. So there's so much positive about these times, but if you're somebody of a certain age, you might not feel like you know how to do these more modern things like content creation. You might not have the confidence, the skills, the familiarity with that generation, with what they're into, that market, what they like, what they'll tune into. And yet you might have the tools to do it, but your mindset is that you can't. It's very adaptable people that are a certain age and have a channel and start doing what they've never done before, what their parents never did. You've got to be quite dynamic, and you're not feeling very dynamic, which is making you like panic a bit, okay? It's making you feel guilty for spending money when you know you earn less now, okay? So maybe drop those perceptions of status, because that's a societal belief that is retrospective now. It's not current. You can be any age and be earning an income now. You could be 93 and have your own channel and be making big money like every month, and the ways that you're thinking are outdated. Okay, so you either accept that and just go, that's not for me, I'm too long in the tooth, or you ask people, how are you making that channel? Like, how do I make a channel? And you either like, you know, if you can't beat them, join them. Don't look down on people who are doing things that you don't know how to do, because you can ask and you can find out, but you're going to have to swallow your pride to do that. And I think Geminis can be a bit proud, especially if you're like older. You might think, well, I'm not going to like bow down to people and like approach people and say like, can you help me to do X, Y, or Z? But that's what it's going to require, okay? So you have to drop the ego. Drop the ego, you know, like tail between the legs, like gather the information, loosen up, you know, have more faith in the universe. You don't have to worry as much or be as strategic as what you think, be as like on edge as what you think, you know. But you do need to be assertive with this person because they're hurting you and you're very invested in them and you forgive a lot. So I think you ought to say something. Saying nothing doesn't mean you still keep your ego intact. You feel how you feel is still having the effect that it's having, like belittling you. So advocate for yourself and like have a conversation with this person. You know, be assertive, don't be passive aggressive. Have a conversation with people that could help you to obtain wealth, you know, through more modern pathways, you know, not outdated ways of thinking and being trapped in that, like constantly referring to the past isn't helpful, is it? When we're looking at the present day, it has no value to do that. What you knew, how things were done previously, doesn't hold any value. You need to think ahead. And if you can't think ahead, you at least need to get on board with how things are today. I've gone off on one a bit there, I feel like, but let's get some advice. I'm thinking of a Gemini that I know. It pains him to ask for help with anything. It absolutely pains him. Earth worship. Until my body is in your arms, I will worship you, dear mother of mine. Oh, so until you pass away, you promise to be in awe of the beauty of everything the world has to offer. Yeah, so don't don't give up on planet Earth. It might be changing and it might have different ways of being and different ways of doing, but it's still yours. You're still a part of it, okay? So don't allow yourself to feel removed from it or outside of things. That's a state of mind. It's not the reality. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I feel called to get a soul truth for you because I just feel like you're struggling a bit. I struggled to see too much positive, to be honest, so I feel like I want to get you some extra advice from Spirit. Is that okay, Spirit? Spirit, what advice have you got for Gemini? Oh my God. How can I surrender even more in this moment? I mean, that's poignant. That's exactly what we're talking about. It is essential to have clear, strong intentions of what we desire, but it's equally important for us to detach from the outcome. It's time to surrender. Let the universe have some breathing room to work. Let go of the wheel. Oh my God, I'm getting chills. And trust so deeply that your trust turns into gratitude for what you cannot see. Oh my God, I'm blown away. This is someone that was struggling to see the facts. Someone that was constantly trying to control outcomes instead of let the divine plan unfold. I'm getting chills, honestly. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't coming. You need to have faith, okay? That's mad. Today's soul action. Know this so deeply that your soul vibrates. You are not alone, Gemini. Your life has purpose, and the more you surrender, the more God can produce miracles in your life. Today's mantra: I surrender. I accept all that I cannot change. I release the outcome. And I joyfully trust the process. My God. That's truly brilliant. That. Thank you, Spirit, for these messages. Gemini, if this resonates and you found it helpful and comforting, it's not on your shoulders. Let go of everything, okay? Because life will unfold exactly how it's supposed to. The universe is abundant, and just because you can't know everything in advance doesn't mean it isn't all in hand. You're in good company, okay? Please give it a like, a share, subscribe, follow and repost for me. Support the channel. We're up to 93 subscribers. Okay, and take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.